So let's do an inside view now, guys, of both trucks. And I will say right now, before we even get inside, that the Ram is definitely nicer than the Ford inside. All the extra stitching, materials, leather, all that stuff. It's definitely nicer. The Ford, they kept it pretty plain, more as a work truck. Steps are nicer. Both have power seats. What I will say right now with the Ford is, you see just these chrome little accents they have around the seats. I know it's nothing special, but Rams are completely plain plastic switches. You still have the leather and the wood grain and the memory and all your switches. Let's go inside and have a look here. One thing I'll say about the Ford is the ambient lighting around like the cup holders and under the seats. You can't really see, but I'll show you guys. At least they're real lights, and I'll show you how the Fords are. They're almost an afterthought too, the ambient lighting. It's in the doors on the Ford F-350. So the ambient lighting, they really did a nice job. All the uplifter switches are really nice. Now, I'll show you guys something right now that you can't get on the Ram, the 2019 Ram, or the new 2020 Chevy HD, and that is a panoramic sunroof. So when I went and bought this truck, no one had the panoramic sunroof, and they still don't. Ram has the power steps now, which they didn't have when I bought this F-350. But now they do. But the 2020 Duramax still doesn't come with folding steps, side steps, power deploying side steps, they actually call it. So yes, this is the Ram, or this is the Ford F-350 with the panoramic sunroof. You can't get it in any 1 ton or 3/4 ton truck. It does not have any panoramic sunroofs. So that was something the Ford had back a year ago or 8 months ago when I bought this, before the new HDs and Rams came out. It had a panoramic sunroof, and it also had the power deploying running boards, which none of them have. The Ram have now, but it didn't have. The 2018 Ram didn't have. And the 2020 new HD Chevy Duramax GM still doesn't have power deploying running boards. The other thing that none of the trucks have that this has is they all have the power pedals, and they all have the power tailgate now. But only the Ford has the power tilt steering and telescoping steering wheel, in and out, tilt and tilt. Still, the 2019 Limited, it's manual, and so is the 2020 Chevy. They're still manual with the lever, and this is all power. So you can see in, out, in, out, up, down. They're all like that. The only one like that is the Ford. And then they all have the power pedals. They all have the tailgate. I know when I looked at the 2019 GMC when I bought this, you had to come here to turn the bed lights on. There was no lights in the bed. But now I don't know if the 2020 GM is different. I'll have to double check that. So then you got that. You got your side lights on your mirrors. You got lights on your mirrors that you can turn on and off. And that's just for seeing it, visibility. You got the full camera system around. I'm not going to get too in depth with all that stuff. I'm sure you guys have seen it. But the Ford Super Duty is definitely a lot plainer inside. The materials aren't as nice. It still has the leather on the dash and everything, but it's a little bit more plastic, and the leather isn't nearly as nice. And the stitching on the seats in the Ram and all that stuff, the Ram is nice. You guys will see the Ram is very nice. I do like the Chevy up here, or the Ford up here, sorry guys, with the uplifter switches. That's nice. You got your rear window switch here. Of course, I don't have the truck on, but yeah, you got all that. And then there's your sunroof, the panoramic sunroof. You gotta love, only on a Ford, people. So the panoramic sunroof and the power tilting steering and telescoping steering push button is only available in a Ford F-350. You cannot get it in a Dodge, and you cannot get either of those in a Duramax. I guarantee you guys. So you got the 110 switch. You got a 110 switch in the back. Ram has that. You got the double glove boxes. Ram has that, and I'm sure the Chevy has that. You got the Bang & Olufsen sound system. Sound system's good in here. Nothing like that Ram. Wait till you guys go see that Ram. You got your power brake controller, your push button start. It's pretty dark in here, guys. I could probably turn some lights on, would help, hey? And then you got your, you know, your USB plugs in there. And this is kind of a nice, you can switch this over to have more cup holders. What I do like is the ambient lighting. Again, guys, as you can see, they have a cool little cubby hole here for your key. A lot of people don't know about that. So that's kind of nice if you want to leave your key in there, because I'll show you guys on the outside, Ford's the only people that still have a key code to get in your car, so you don't have to have your keys with you. So that's cool. I will say one thing about this Ford, after driving both, I find the seats are a little bit more comfortable in here in the Super Duty than the Ford. The seats are nicer in the Ram, but they're not as comfortable as the Super Duties. The glove box is very plain. It's just big. There's more plugs, more stuff. Pretty plain, comparable. So let's shut these lights off. We'll kill our battery here. So, but we got the rear sliding window and the panoramic sunroof. And then, of course, like I said, you guys got your keypad here. So like I said, you don't have to have your keys. You can leave your keys in your vehicle, which no other manufacturer does that. It's kind of an odd thing. Back into the back, you really got, I don't know if I can fold this right now. Probably got to go to that side. No. So you got this nice under storage box. So that's great. You can put all your stuff in there and then fold the seat down and lock it. So then you got a nice flat floor. You got your 110 back here and your cigarette lighter. You got heated seats in the back. Now that's another thing. When I bought this Ford and I shopped at the Ram and the Chevy dealer back in December of 2018, this 2019 F-350 was the only one of the big three that had power heated rear seats. The Ram does now, and I'm not sure on the 2020 Chevy. Please leave some comments below. I haven't actually seen the 2020s full in-depth up close. I have seen them, but I haven't gone through them completely. But I know the new Ram, it does. But back when I bought this truck, rear heated seats, panoramic sunroof, and power tilt steering and telescoping steering, and folding running boards. This truck was the only one, so that's why I have a F-350. Now the Ram has all that stuff except for the panoramic sunroof and the power tilt steering, telescoping steering. You guys will see. So the back is very plain. I like it's nice and big. Seats fold down. They look good. Just give me a sec here, guys. Seats fold down. One thing I'll say, seat's been folded up for a while. One thing I'll say about the Ford is at least the armrest when you sit in the back doesn't have cup holders in it. The Chevys and the Rams, they put the cup holders right in the armrest, so your arm is on cup holders. At least the Ford has thought to make them slide out. You can put them away. You got more cup holders up here if you need them. But that's one thing I like, is you don't have cup holders for an armrest, which most trucks do. So that's that, but there's nothing like the room in here like there is in that mega cab. You guys will see in a sec. It's unbelievable. So you got your jack, there's your 400 watt power inverter under the seat there, and your underbox storage, which is very handy. So that's cool to have, and there's dividers in there, and you can flip out dividers and all that stuff. So that's pretty cool. Heated rear seats, you gotta have the plug, all that stuff. It's good. So I think we've kind of pretty much gone over the Ford. Like I say, the bigger gas. Look at the size of this, guys. Now that's a Super Duty gas tank.